Afternoon, dear traders. This is Alex Gerchik, and today, basically, we're going to speak about a room that you work in, about your working place. I do have some questions that you required, so I'm going to go by questions. Very important thing. I'll begin with how I begin my trading and what's the most important thing. I want you to understand one simple thing. You will spend approximately 70% or maybe sometime 80% of your time sitting and trading. So what the most important thing for you, it's obviously the computer, the monitors, and obviously a chair and a table, because if you're not comfortable, you're going to definitely have a problem. With me, I do basically what I like about myself. It's been almost 20 years that I've been in trading, and I did not have a major problem with my back or anything else. While all the traders, they do have a problems with their back and everything else. The most important thing is how to be comfortable in trading. First of all, just for you to understand, before you buy anything, table, monitors, and everything else, you have to just try it and sit on it. I have a chair in my house, which is basically a plain chair from IKEA, but this is one of the most comfortable chair basically I ever had. That's what we're gonna start. First of all, the lights. You gotta have a room which has a lot of lights, and usually it's gotta be obviously daylights, because if you're gonna use the lights which are not the daylights, you're really gonna have a issue. Your eyes is gonna hurt, and obviously if the eyes is gonna hurt, sooner or later you're gonna have a headache. And why should you listen to me? Because as I said before, I've been in trading for 20 years. I've known a lot of traders in my life, and I've seen a lot of issues. So I'm going to give you some advice for you to understand that if you would listen to how to fix all the issues about the monitors and everything else, you're not going to have a problem. First of all, obviously, I cannot tell you anything if you have a problem with the size of the room, but the bigger the room, it's better it is. And just for you to understand, the more comfortable you're gonna feel about your space where you trade, the better it's going to be. And as I said, it's not going to be a very big webinar. I'm not going to tell you and give you so much information. I'm just going to say step by step. Obviously, when you sit down, the very important thing it's to have everything. You got to have a notepad, you got to have a pencil or a pen, whatever you use. And honestly, I'm a kind of person, I try to have everything as pleasant as possible for me to feel good, because a lot of times a little things, just for you to understand, you spend 17 to 18 hours a day, sometime 15 hours a day sitting and trading, doing the homework and everything else. And if these little things which makes you happy, let's say very nice pen or very nice pad, my advice to you, just have it. And a very important thing, as I said, is a table and a chair. Very important advice to you: when you're going to choose a chair or a table, you have to make sure the length and height of the chair and the table, it's going to be very competitive, because a lot of times people using the chair and they're just sitting this way, and it's not too good for your neck, so basically, and for your back as well. So obviously, when you going to choose the chair, make sure it's going to be a high chair. I mean, unfortunately, I'm right now at a little different place, but those who've seen my webinars before, you know that my chair is very high. It's all the way up to here. My neck is pretty much is always straight. And honestly speaking, I always begin my day with exercise. That's why probably 20 years in trading, sitting probably 10 to 12 hours a day at least. Most of you probably sitting even more. I don't have any problems with my back. And I always begin the exercise. I lay down. I basically put my shoulders all the way up. I always do this right before I begin the trading day. And obviously, I don't have a problem either with my neck, either with my back. Because a lot of times, if you don't use this, you're really going to have a problem sooner or later. I mean, that everyone who has a sitting job, they do have this kind of issues. Eyes. Honestly speaking, I probably one of the luckiest son of a bitch, spending almost 20 hours in trading, watching the monitors, and at the biggest point, I had almost 6 monitors. Now I have 3, which is basically enough. I have a perfect vision. I don't know what to explain, but all I can tell you, I using a special wet napkins, and every morning, basically, I take that wet napkins and I clean my eyes, not to have any issues. I mean, trust me, you probably, most of you right now, or some of you are sitting and laughing, they're saying, what the hell this guy is talking about? But trust me, once you're gonna sit down and once you're gonna have a problem, then you're gonna remember my words, and then you're gonna remember, you're gonna say, Alex said the right thing. So very important thing, it's basically your vision, because if you're gonna have a problem with vision, you're gonna have a problems with everything. At one point, I remember 2 or 3 years after I started trading, I started to have a lot of headaches, because you always basically put in your eyes to see a very small object, and I did have a lot of issues with that. But then I went to a doctor. I bought these wet napkins, and every morning what I do, I basically wipe out my eyes with the wet napkins, so I don't have any problems in the future. So very important thing, it's a light. Then very important thing is the background on your charts. I'm telling you, and this has been proven already, try to use a dark background with the lights color for the bars or candles, whatever you use. So very important thing is to use a dark background. Dark background, your eyes are not gonna hurt, because if you're gonna use very bright, let's say some people use yellow, some people use blue background, you're definitely gonna have a problem, and you're gonna have a problem very fast. As I said before, the most important thing is you're gonna begin with the furniture. You gotta buy, you don't have to go crazy. You understand? Just for you to understand, you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to buy expensive chair or expensive table. You don't have to do that. All you have to do, you just got to make sure your table is comfortable and your chair is comfortable. Basically, the chair, it's not going to be soft. It doesn't have to be soft. It's going to be very tough chair with the back is a very strong material. So this way your back is going to get support, and your shoulders are going to go straight, and your neck is going to be also in an upright position. Uh, about the station, trading station. A lot of times, people who become traders, they don't pay enough attention to the monitors, to the computer, or anything else. A lot of people, playing with these devices and try to trade from here. Honestly speaking, my friends, this is the road to lose money, because if you want to become a professional, you have to have a decent computer. You don't have to go crazy. Before you go, you can basically try to go in a lot of forums, and make sure that the people are putting there all the information about the computers and monitors. I have a BenQ 24 inches. It's a fantastic monitor. So I had a BenQ for many, many years. They had a very nice model, quadruple 22222 HDL BenQ monitor. I have been using BenQ monitors for probably about 5 years, and I think those one are the best for trading. They have a very nice colors. Just don't go with these cheap ones. Try to have a decent monitor. The monitors are very cheap these days. Or you can buy probably for around $200, maybe even less. The most important thing, don't try to go with the very large monitors like a Samsung 27 or 32 inches, because those one, your eyes is going to get killed. So you rather have a three of 22s or three of 24s than to have, let's say, two of 27 inches monitors. I try to work with the big monitors, and just for you to understand, I don't have a problems with money. I can go and buy anything that I want for myself. I can buy 32 inches, I can buy 50 inches, but those monitors are going to kill your eyes. So stick with the monitors. I tell you the truth, my first monitors was Sony many years ago. I was very happy with them. Then I basically started working with Dell, and somehow I did not have a love with Dell. I don't like Dell monitors, and even my son, who basically plays the games, he used the BenQ, and we're extremely happy. If you really want an excellent monitor, spend a little bit more money and buy gaming monitors. They even call this way a gaming monitors for those people who basically play from the morning to the night. They're playing computer games. Those monitors are extremely good. As far as the computer, buy something fast, but make sure it's going to be under your specifications. Like, for example, You don't need probably a big amount of memory because you're not going to store big amount of memory, but make sure the computer is going to be very fast. Basically, a lot of times people asking the question, how many monitors are comfortable to work? I'm telling you right away, two monitors usually, if you're not like crazy trader, if you don't trade 20 or 30 different stocks, two monitors is more than enough. And one monitor, you're going to have a quote page, two charts, and another monitor, you're going to have half of the monitor is going to be taken by execution platform. So very important thing, it's not to have a crazy amount of monitors because you're gonna go like this. You're gonna go crazy. You're gonna have a problem. Two monitors is probably more than enough to begin. Very important thing, obviously, it's the internet. When you're gonna start trading, you should understand one thing: the internet is everything for you because I mean, if you live in the United States or you live in Europe, and most of the places the connections are great. But if you live in the places where the internet is not like a first priority, then make sure, I want you to, be understand. Make sure the internet is going to be good. It's going to be light channel, and internet is it's going to fly. Because if you're going to open too many programs, like for example charts sometimes take too much from the power for the computer. They take too much from the internet, and if the programs are heavy, the internet is not going to be enough. So don't try to stick with the 512 megabytes or 1 gig. Try to have a decent speed, 3, 4, 5 megabit per second. This way should be enough for you to start trading. Obviously, a lot of times, um, where you start trading, you have to pay attention of how it works. So the very important thing, it's what do you have on your screen. Try not to put a lot of stuff because most of the time a lot of stuff is not too good for you. So my advice to you is very simple: use something that you really needed, because as I said before, even these days a very very good computers, if you put of a lot of everything, you definitely going to have issues with your PC. And everybody else is asking me a question, where is more comfortable for me to trade, from the office or home? I wanted to tell you one thing. I'm an office person, all my life, from a day one that I become a day trader for a prop trading firm. I trade my own capital, but I always did this at the firm. There was some days, obviously, where I either got sick or I was in a bad mood. I didn't want to go to the office. Just for you to understand, it's been very rarely, it's not been so many times when I trade from home. Those days I never make enough money as I made it at the office. So when you trade at the office, it does not really matter. I mean, you have to wake up in the morning and make sure you go to work. If you go to work, then you're not going to have any issues, because when you sit at home, you are very comfortable, you feel good, you don't have any issues, everything is fine. You buy, sell, somebody calls you, your wife calling you, your grandmother calling you, your kids are calling you. You're not going to be able to trade from home. I have a lot of friends who trade from home. If you trade long term, that's perfectly fine. But if you try to trade intraday, it's not too good. So my advice to you, if you have a chance to trade from the office, it doesn't matter. With some people, you do that. Anyway, as I said before, to finalize everything, make sure you exercising at least in the morning before you sit down. Make sure your computer and your monitors are good, up to date. And the very important thing is the furniture. You gotta have a nice chair. You gotta have a nice table. It's gotta be a very nice position as far as the height. And don't kill your eyes. It's been Alexander Gerchik, and thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask me, because this is advice from a traders to a trader. I'm a professional trader with 20 years of experience, and trust me, I do know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.